So Marshall, as the top executive coach in the world and someone who really has worked with already successful leaders become even more successful, one of the things that you talk about is making sustainable, measurable change in their behaviors. Tell me a little bit about the daily practice routine.
Well, I have this process that takes 2 minutes a day.
Okay.
Help people get better at almost anything and costs nothing.
Sounds incredible.
Our listeners probably a little skeptical. Wait a minute, 2 minutes a day, get better at anything. Sounds too good to be true.
It does.
What's even more surprising is half the people that start quit within 2 weeks. And they don't quit because it does not work. They quit because it does work.
Okay.
Now, it's called the daily question process, and I think it's fantastic for young people. Here's what you do. You make a list, get out a spreadsheet.
Okay.
Make a list of the important questions that are important in your life. And then 7 boxes across, one for every day of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
You write in a score. What? It's either yes, no, or number. Yes counts as a 1, no is a 0, or it's a number. Now, I'll share some of my questions. Mine aren't not intended to be anybody else's.
All right.
The idea of this exercise is everyone writes your own question. They need to come from your own heart. Now, for example, one of my questions every day is, how many times yesterday did you try to prove you were right when it was not worth it? Kind of hard for that old professor and that old coach not to be right constantly.
Sure.
And I've almost never scored a 0 my whole life.
Okay.
How many angry or destructive comments did you make about people yesterday? You know, sometimes if you're into being a wise guy a little bit.
Maybe when you're in New York City.
Yeah, not such a good thing, right? Like you made a bad comment about New York City right there. See, there you go. 1 point off for you right there.
Negative.
Did you say or do something nice for your wife, for your son, your daughter, your son-in-law? How many minutes did you walk? Did you do push-ups? Did you do sit-ups? And my friend Jim Moore does this, which tell you it saved his life. It didn't kind of save his life. It did save his life. One of his questions was, are you currently updated on your physical exam? And first 90 days he did this, he said no. After 90 days, he said, this is embarrassing. I got to get the dumb exam or quit asking. And I got the dumb exam. Doctor said, you have cancer.
Oh, my goodness.
He's fine. He's 65 then, now he's 70.
Good.
He was 65. He knew he should have got an exam. He just didn't do it. Well, what this does every day, it gives you that day-to-day discipline. And every company has values. Those are talk values. These are real values.
Yeah.
You write down your own questions, and your real values are not what we say. It's what we do every day. Now, I'm going to warn everybody listening to me now, this is hard.
Right.
It's hard because it's easy to talk a good game.
Right.
Life is easy to talk and it's hard to live. When you look in that mirror day after day after day, and I've been doing this for years, and evaluate yourself, you realize that picture at the end of the week is not as pretty as that values plaque on the wall.
No.
You realize this life is real easy to talk and hard to live.
Absolutely.
How do you think this is important for the young people that you work with?
In so many ways, but the two things that come to mind, I think about this generation that is entering the workforce and they're thirsty for success, but sometimes they are measuring their success by external measures. And I think having that discipline to really define for themselves what it means, what life means, what's important to them, and then hold themselves accountable to working on that, I think will really build and inspire transformative change that nothing else is going to influence it like that. There's not going to be training like this in the workplace. It's not going to be a playbook when you come to the office that tells you this is how you make yourself a better leader, a better person. So that's the first thing. I think there's just nothing like that out there to help them really change themselves for the better. The second, I think, is that this generation knows the skills that they lack, and they believe that there's going to be an opportunity in the workplace for them to transform, to change. And so if they use this as an opportunity to develop themselves and really develop towards the leader, the family member, potentially the mother, the father, the parent, I think it allows them to feel like they're achieving success. They are in this hyper-competitive world where they're comparing themselves on social media to not even just their friends and the people they know, but people they may never meet in their life all over the world. And that's a really negative environment to subject yourself to day in, day out. So if you actually have a true scorecard that was built on questions you designed based on what's really important to you, you can actually feel good about that progress. And I think ultimately that's going to have a much larger, greater, deeper impact than anything else could. So thank you for sharing that. I'm excited to hear young students, professionals, their feedback about how this